Hey, so reading James chapter 4. The verse of the day for today, July 26th, was James chapter 4, verse 14, I believe. Let's see. Go back here. I love the verse of the day. I don't know why. But the verse of the day was James chapter 4, verse 3. And this morning when I woke up, I read the whole chapter and said that's what I'm going to share today. So, I'm reading the New King James Version. And they have, on the app, they have little titles above the verses. I've warned you before, be careful with those. But I believe these are correct. Some of them are not. And then when you read the chapter, it'll throw you completely off. All right, so verse 1. Where do wars and fights come from among you? Do they not come from your desires for pleasure that war in your members, which is your body? You lust, and you do not have. You murder and covet and cannot obtain. You fight and war, yet you do not have because you do not ask. And then you ask and you do not receive because you ask amiss, that you may spend it on your pleasures. Adulterers and adulteresses, do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Whoever therefore wants to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God. Or do you think that the scripture says in vain, the Spirit who dwells in us, yearns jealously? So he's jealous for us. But, verse 6, he gives grace. It even says he gives more grace. Therefore, he says in this next part, God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble, is found in Proverbs chapter 34. Yeah, chapter 3, verse 34. Then he goes on to say, humility cures worldliness. And this hit home for me because this is very humbling to do this. So I was like, whoa. So this is me right here, verse 7. Submit to God. Submit to Krisha. Submit. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Me. Double-minded. Oh my goodness. Verse 9. Lament and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up. That's a promise. Verse 11. It says, do not judge a brother. Now, verse 11, this is James chapter 4. Do not speak evil of one another, brethren. He who speaks evil of a brother and judges his brother speaks evil of the law and judges the law. But if you judge the law, you are not a doer of the law, but a judge. There is one lawgiver who is able to save and to destroy. So who are you to judge another? I know a lot of people be like, don't judge me. So you might like that verse. This next one is, do not boast about tomorrow. This is one of my favorites as well. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a city and spend a year there and buy and sell and make a profit, whereas you do not know what will happen tomorrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we shall live and do this or that. But now, you who boast in your arrogance, all such boasting is evil. Therefore, to him who knows, now this one seems so separate from everything, or is bringing it all together. Verse 17. Therefore, to him who knows to do good and does not do it, to him it is sin. All right, y'all. That is the end of James chapter 4. I did what I said I was going to do, even though it still is a bit, but he said, submit to God. So this is me submitting. I love y'all, and I do it because somebody got to tell y'all reading the Bible is for relationship purposes with the Most High, so that we can know who's his true character and be able to hear his voice. I love y'all. Have a great day.